The Florida Gators have won the NCAA March Madness tournament, and you're probably thinking, Allie, why do I care? Well, number one, Al Horford was in attendance at that national championship game because he is an alumni of Florida, and he did kind of give a hint as to what his next steps are in the NBA. Is he retiring? Is he staying? We're going to break that down. On the back half of the show, Walter Clayton Jr. had a phenomenal March Madness tournament playing for Florida. Could the Boston Celtics possibly draft him? Well, ESPN thinks so. So we'll break that down in the back half of the show as well. We are in the final week of NBA regular season. Then it's off to the playoffs. Right now, the Boston Celtics are second in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks are third. And I want to take down the Knicks Now channel this month in subscribers. We are well ahead with 100+ subscribers over the Knicks Now channel here at Chat Sports, but we know they can get rowdy. So help us beat Knicks Now by hitting that sub button on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. We've all had speculations on whether or not Al Horford is going to be the Boston Celtics next year or really in the NBA. We do know that he will be a free agent next year, though, however. But he is 38 years old. He is a father of 5. Could Al Horford possibly be retiring at the end of this season? The way he's playing, I would say no. He's playing lights out. He's actually third right now in the last 2 months in the Boston Celtics in plus-minus rating. He's been dominant on both ends of the floor. And I think, honestly, his three-point shooting is the best it's ever looked in his entire career. So maybe he's got a couple more years left in him. I mean, hell, look at LeBron James. He's doing it too. But we know that he has been in the league for 20 years. And we know that being an alumni of Florida, he was at the championship game to see his team get it done. With Horford at Florida's daddy, of course, this did open up numerous different reporters being able to talk to Al Horford. Hey, man, how'd it feel to watch your team win the national championship? Hey, are you seeing anything from the younger guys? Maybe that are entering the NBA later this year. But more importantly, John Fanta talked to Al Horford about what he saw at the national championship game and what it would be like playing in the NBA with some of these guys. And Al Horford said, I know that I'm going to be playing against Walter Clayton Jr. next season in the pros. Maybe he'll be with us. So I got 2 things from Al Horford's very simple quote to John Fanta. Number 1, Al Horford's coming back next year. That is him saying he's playing in the pros next year. Unless something else changes, he is prepared to play with these young guys coming out of college and entering into the NBA. He is prepared to play at 39 years old in the professional basketball league. So that is the number 1 thing I'm taking away from what Horford said. He's all but confirming he will be back in the NBA next year. Hopefully with the Boston Celtics, but knowing he's going to be a free agent, we can do a whole different video on Al Horford's contract later down the road. Number 2, what I took from that sentence is that maybe he's playing with us. Could Al Horford and Walter Clayton Jr. play on the same team in Boston next year? I think that would be amazing. To have a guy like Clayton Jr., to have a guard like him in Boston would be incredible for the depth chart. It would also be good for salary-wise in case they do have to possibly trade away a player like Jrue Holiday. And you also know there's already a connection in there. And if there's any guy in the league I would ever want to get mentor, leadership advice from, it'd be Al Horford. And so I think that would be a really great fit. But obviously, all of the signs have to lead up to allowing the Celtics to be able to draft Walter Clayton Jr. So let me ask you guys this. Let's go back to Al Horford here for real quick. Do you want Al Horford to play next year in the NBA? I don't see why anybody wouldn't want to see him continue to dominate on both sides of the court. Go on ahead and spam Al if it is a yes in the comment section down below. Show the 38-year-old some love in the comment section. All right, what would it take to draft Walter from Florida in the upcoming 2025 NBA draft? We're going to break that down here in just a moment. First, let me tell you guys about our sponsor on today's show, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys are looking to win some cash while you're watching sports, then Prize Picks is the app for you. It's super, super easy to play. All you guys have to do is just download the Prize Picks app, use promo code CLNS CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. And all you guys have to do to create that lineup is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your cash today. Springtime is here and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash today. You can also mix and match. Combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball, hockey, esports, and much more. The second half of basketball season is here and the push to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks. Go on ahead and download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. ESPN's latest mock draft has the Boston Celtics predicting to draft Walter Clayton Jr. from the Florida Gators with pick number 28 overall. And what ESPN had to say about Clayton falling that low in the first round, it's actually pretty surprising. He said NBA teams have questions about Clayton's defense, passing, and feel for the game, as he can be mistake-prone on both ends of the floor and isn't blessed with great physical tools with his average size, length, and strength. Scouts are comparing his NCAA tournament performance with Shabazz a decade ago, which similarly earned him a spot in the late first round, though Clayton is taller and more explosive, but also a little bit more put together, a little bit more methodical when he is playing his game. And I do agree, 6'3", a little bit shorter than Peyton Pritchard, 195 pounds. But from what he showed in the tournament, it seems like a really good project for a guy like Brad Stevens. I mean, look at Baylor Shireman. We snagged him with pick number 30 in the NBA draft, and he's turned out to be a huge asset off the bench for the Boston Celtics on offense and on defense. And I could see Walter Clayton being that exact type of player for Boston if he does get drafted, because we are one of the best teams in the NBA, we don't get Cooper Flags. So you have to try and find those potential players. And from what I saw from Clayton, that is what he is. He's a potential player that knows how to show up in the clutch, that knows how to be dominant from the three ball, which of course is Joe Mazzulla's number one favorite thing to hear when you're talking about a prospective Boston Celtics player. And I do agree with ESPN. If there's one thing that Clayton did, he completely upped his draft stock during the March Madness tournament, which is a huge reason why I do love the tournament in itself. You get to see players thrive in some of the highest arenas, highest stages in college athletics, and he did nothing shy of that. From what he took over in the 5-6 games he played for March Madness, he was dominant from the offensive side. He averaged 22.3 points per game, assisting, rebounding, but the number one stat I want you to look at is 44% from downtown. That is what Joe Mazzulla and Brad Stevens are going to love about this kid. When he goes 6 for 9 in the semifinals, it makes you want to have him around your perimeter. Pair him with a Peyton Pritchard, maybe even a Sam Hauser. Hell, put him back in the backcourt with Derek White and see how well he can shoot there. But he also knows how to facilitate, and I really liked how he came up in the clutch several times in this tournament. That's what earned him the most outstanding player of the entire thing. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't really know too much about Clayton before the tournament. But after watching him for 5-6 games, dominating at the highest level, I realized, hey, he's got that grit. He's got that type of potential that only a guy like Brad Stevens will be able to use him at the highest level. And learning from Tatum and Brown and Horford and Porzingis possibly could be another good attribute as well. I really liked how dominant he was in the clutch. That's showing me that he can handle the pressure of what's about to come in the next level. So I could see him falling towards the end of the first round, maybe even early in the second round, but ESPN really thinks that this would be a good fit with the Boston Celtics. And you know what? I think we've had a pretty good run of Florida alumni on our Celtics roster. Al Horford, after the game, being an alumni from Florida, he said he's such a smart player. He's a team player. He understood they were going to double him, and he needed to get his guys involved. He was looking to pass early, and then he took his moments late and scored some big baskets for us. I love how he still says us, too, because, he's a Florida Gator for life. And I agree with Al Horford. He was double-teamed by one of the best defenses in college basketball in Houston. And I'm going to be honest, I was a little scared to see how Clayton was going to be able to handle that. But he learned that he had to distribute the ball. It gives me very Peyton Pritchard, hey, look, I may not have the tallest abilities, the strongest abilities on the floor, but I know I can use my skill set to help out my team. And that's what Clayton did. And Al Horford's right. Towards the end of the game, when it got really close in crunch time, he showed up with driving the basket, picking up and ones, or picking up fouls, or draining it from the three-point line. So that is why I think that he can fit into the Boston Celtics team mold pretty easily. But because of his performance in the National Championship and a March Madness tournament, unfortunately, he may have upped his draft stock a little bit too much for the Celtics. I'm not sure if he's going to be there at 28 anymore. It's going to have to depend on how this next month or so goes of the draft prospects and the NBA combine and such starting to showcase their skills. But if he's available at 28, I do want Boston to select him. But it also does depend on where Boston ends up after the NBA Finals. Should Boston draft Walter Clayton Jr.? Type D for draft, type P for pass. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm taking D for draft if it's available and if this is where we are going to be drafting. All right, if you guys haven't already, help us out in this April subscriber battle with the New York Knicks channel here at Chat Sports. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me on Celtics Today by Chat Sports.